Um, joined by Norm from the NUFC True Faith podcast. Norm, how's it going to begin with?
It's very good, mate. Very good. On a personal level, fantastic. But once we start talking about Newcastle United, my mood may change.
And just remind us where we can get you on social media.
You can follow us on @TFNUFC, or you can go to the website where you'll find a lot of articles, podcasts, etc., which is true-faith.co.uk.
Perfect. Right. Well, I mean, it's that time of year, isn't it? We talk to you and we discuss Steve Bruce very quickly. I try not to laugh at your anger too much, and then we move on to the weekend.
It's moved from anger into sort of comedy now, mate. It's just a giant tragedy comedy. Steve Bruce, as I say, rinse and repeat from the past 2 podcasts I've done with you, or the past 4, I guess it'll be. Rinse and repeat, but we are here. We have Steve Bruce as manager, so let me try and remain as upbeat as possible. Given that I'm going to the match on Saturday, there must be an inkling of hope, because if there wasn't, then why would I do it to myself?
Why do we do it to ourselves? Put ourselves through it because the highs are so good, I suppose, when you come across them. But I mean, you talked about sort of things becoming funny, and obviously I'm guessing you've seen the meme of the FIFA 22 Steve Bruce absolutely pelting everyone else onto the pitch, and Saint-Maximin, I think, asked in the end who gave Steve Bruce 99 pace. But it's like the memes of when the chippy opens on a Friday and just
exactly. Or he's the one with Steve Bruce is custard. That's the joke among fans, because apparently he's a big fan of custard, or he admitted it in an interview, which is obviously, I can't imagine Pep Guardiola saying, I love double portions of custard post match, but there you go. It is what it is.
So you need, like with the Pep Guardiola and Neil Warnock videos, there needs to be a Steve Bruce equivalent. You need to get a crowdfund started for that. I'm sure he'll make £1 million an hour.
We could put Bruce with, let's put him with Thomas Tuchel. How about
that? That could work. That could work. I like that. Let's have a look at the weekend then. Nice weekend game. A proper kickoff. Something to look forward to, isn't it? I mean, we've got your, you might have to excuse spelling on this one, but we've got your predicted Newcastle 11 along the bottom of the screen there. In terms of the game itself, Wolves can be a pretty mixed bag at the best of times. We've seen that a little bit so far this season. Very good start. What's been your outlook from the outside looking in?
At Wolves, well, I thought the first 3 games of the season that you lost, you were actually the better side, and in terms of chances created and expected goals, I think you were way ahead of the opposition. I watched the full game against Man United, and I thought you were brilliant. I think what was clear was that Jimenez would take time to get back into the scoring routine, but I thought Laga had set you up in a style completely different to Nuno. It was really exciting to watch. And then you got your first win, obviously, and I thought, here we go. But that Watford result was absolutely terrible, wasn't it? However, you picked up again at the weekend just gone, and I think with a great goal by Jimenez. Well, I'm really, look, as a neutral, I'm really happy to see him back, because I think he's a wonderful footballer, and obviously that injury that he had was terrible, and you never want to see anyone go through that, but also you're always a little bit concerned that they might not come back as the same player. You know, you look at Peter Cech, for example, big head injury, and I don't think he ever recovered, really. He never reached the peaks again, whereas Jimenez has shown signs of getting there, and I'm really glad. I'm excited about Laga. I think you've got a manager there who has got a very kind of unique way of playing, and as I say, it's different from Nuno, and I think it's one of those where you persist with him, and by the end of the season, you could be one of the most entertaining sides to watch. So a bit of a contrast with Nuno. Again, I love Nuno, but a total contrast, and you think automatically Portuguese players, Portuguese manager, same old, right? It's going to be kind of an extension or a continuation of what Nuno did. But the evidence so far suggests that you are having a bit of a tactical revolution up there with Vieira at Crystal Palace, mate. A complete contrast.
Yeah, I mean, that Brentford result, I think, just took everybody by surprise, didn't it? And we talk about Jimenez, and I think Lage made the point, which I hadn't really thought about before, is that he's having to learn how to head again, because you've got this massive band on. And, you know, it's going to hinder you, because otherwise, if it helps your heading, I'm sure everybody would be wearing one, whether they needed it or not. So, yeah, great point.
He threw it off, didn't he? He threw it off, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think it's fair to say that Conor Cody can be a little bit suspect at the back. I know he's come out this week and sort of said some of the comments that he's seen have been hard to take. but they're usually based on fact. So, I mean, they can be hard to take, but what can you do? We find he doesn't play his best against big, strong centre forwards. You've got one. He's in very, very good form. I moved him into my fantasy team this week. Was that the right decision to begin with?
Well, look, Maximin's always got a goal in him. He's always got an assist in him. What I would say is that he's not a centre forward. He's playing up there at the moment because I think you could look at it from a couple of ways. Callum Wilson's injured. Callum Wilson's an excellent player, and I think he gives any centre half a tough time. Maximin isn't a centre forward in that if any balls are put up in the air, we've got no chance. You know that. I mean, Cody and Saiz will be all over those. If the ball's played at his feet though, with his back to goal, and he gets a chance to turn and run, he could really cause you serious problems. So yes, I think you've made a good decision putting him in your side, regardless, because if he's on the left-hand side, which is his best position, or he's up top, he's always going to cause problems. The only issue, or one of the many issues, shall we say, is that he tends to be given the ball so much. Basically, the outlet is Maximin, the tactic is Maximin. So he gets so much of the ball, he does so much running that by sort of 60, 70 minutes, he's usually shutting down. He scored at the death against Southampton. That was kind of a surprise, given how much energy he expends during the game. But I think he will cause trouble for Cody and Saiz, and also the fact that Bruce switched to 4 at the back 20 minutes in against Leeds, and again in the last game against Watford, suggests that we've got a better chance than we did have 3 weeks ago when we were playing 5 at the back. When we played 5 at the back, we were abysmal, mate. But it's interesting what you say about Cody there, because as an outsider looking in, Cody's a kind of player I would love at Newcastle, the kind of leader, organiser, and just a big voice. So interesting that you're saying that he's out of form ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think he's one of those, really. He's very, very good leader. He's very good at shouting. He's just not very good at defending. But, you know, that's why he's so good in that sweeper role, is that, spraying the ball very good. But, you know, yeah. Score prediction?
You know what, mate? Should we just let history repeat itself? We'll go with 1 each. Why don't we go with 1-1 for a change, right? Yeah, I'm going to go with 1-1, and that'll be spun by Steve Bruce as a game that he enjoys on a personal level and very exciting. That's his latest. If any of your watchers and listeners have picked up on Steve Bruce's comments post Leeds and post Watford, he has enjoyed the games and we played exciting football. So there you go.
For anybody who is drinking in Birmingham before the game that might want to catch up with you, do you know whereabouts you're going to be yet?
Oh, I am the Lord Childen, I think it is, in the Jewellery Quarter. It's an absolutely brilliant pub in Birmingham. I shall be spending most of my time in that particular booze. I went there before the Aston Villa match, and the pub, I found the pub so good. In fact, I found some of Birmingham's pubs so good. I think I went to 4 or 5 places that the disgrace of a match became utterly irrelevant because the pubs in Birmingham are so good. So I'm not really going to the match. I'm going to the match, but it's more for a holiday in Birmingham, mate.
Yeah, no, good shout. Good shout. I was out at the weekend. It's very good. Perfect. Well, Norm, we wish you best of bad luck, of course, for the weekend, and we do look forward to catching up with you later on in the season.
Thank you, Sam. Cheers, everyone, and all the best for the rest of the season, Wolves. I'll speak to you on the return game, hopefully.